So, you've made it through to our prize round. You are today's lucky winner. Would you like to pick some of these prize boxes to win some randomised prizes?
Okay, I'll have the green one.
Oh, the green one. Well, let's open it up and see what you've won. You've won some things we've played this week.
I'm very excited. I was thinking about getting myself a set of those, actually.
Oh, and what do you want to open next? Which box next?
The turquoise one, please.
Oh, and in the turquoise box we've got things we've watched this week.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know what to say.
Oh, and go on, pick one more, pick one more.
Orange.
Orange? Oh, well, that's this week's star prize. It contains not only things we've listened to this week, but also some queer trans ladies, some skits, and some silly voices. All in one prize.
Oh, I don't know what to say. This is amazing. It's all my dreams come true at once.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that. Tune in next time for another episode of Queer and Pleasant Game Show.
Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Eris Magnet. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where two queer trans ladies have a bit of a catch-up about media we've consumed in the week and have a bit of a giggle and a silly time and do a thing together.
Do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing this week?
I'm okay, thank you.
I'm doing much better now the heat wave's broken.
Heat wave.
It was way too warm for a bit.
It was a bit
And now
warm.
it's manageable-ish.
Yes.
Hooray!
And it rains occasionally, which the plants are very happy
The
about.
plants very much need that rain.
Mhm.
There's not been any for a while.
The local grass has stopped looking quite so much like it's about to become a desert.
Yeah, we've got a field that looks like it's turning to sand, which is not good for the grass. The grass should be healthy and green and
Some
good.
things are looking a bit more green today.
Oh,
which I'm very happy about.
I'm glad. Well, we've not spent a huge amount of time outside because we've been inside consuming media, like good little media consumers.
Good little media consumers. Nom 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 nom. Tasty media.
Om nom 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 nom. What media have you been consuming? Specifically stuff you've played this week.
Specifically stuff that I've played this week.
Yeah.
Well, I've pretty much only played one thing.
Yeah?
I put 32 hours into Prey.
That you did.
Yes.
You sure played Prey this week.
I played the shit out of Prey.
Yeah, tell me about playing Prey this week. How'd you find it? You've played the whole game.
How did I find it? Well, I had watched a few things that reference Prey, and they were like, the first section's a bit puzzly. The rest of the game isn't very much like that. And I'd heard other things going like, oh, it's a really good there's loads of really good action in it, loads of good first-person action in there. There's like a good selection of interesting weaponry. There's some puzzles. And I was like, okay, it's going to be like Doom 2016, maybe slower paced with some puzzles. Was not expecting System Shock 3.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
And I've never played a System Shock game. So I literally spent the first 2 hours of that game on stream going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really understand what's going on. And as soon as I got off screen, I looked up a walkthrough for it. It was like, oh. Like,
yeah,
literally for the bit I was stuck on, I was like, oh, this changes everything.
Yeah, once you know what's going on...
What the game wants you to do.
Yes, once you twig what the game is after...
Yeah.
It's a really interesting little game, though.
It's an interesting game. It gives you lots of good moral questions.
Yep, the opening mission is so well designed.
It's quite incredible. Like,
yeah.
They did a really good job of, like, hiding things.
Hiding what the thing was.
And then immediately after that going, do you want to see how we did it?
Yeah, it's very proud of what it achieved and not in a show-offy way like hey, I bet you're curious. I bet you're curious.
It is that moment of realisation, like, when you're sort of wandering around the area multiple times, because you go through that area quite a bit right in the beginning and then like, it's twisting my head that's what was going on the whole time.
Yeah, right. And so much good environmental storytelling in that game. Like, they make such good use of the environments you're in.
Yeah, and there's some really little sweet things. Like, I love the fact that there's a flourishing D&D game on board.
Yes! Like, it's the stuff like that makes it feel like a lived-in location.
Yeah, like, I mean, things make relative sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of showers, no baths. Didn't see any baths.
Yeah.
There's like the building all makes sense, and the fact that you can go outside the ship and just be like, just going to fly around the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I can. And lots and lots of recycling. I think I recycled everything on Talos 1.
Well done.
Just the way things evolve, like learning not to waste all your ammo on the big scary thing. And just going, I'll just hide here, it's fine.
Yeah. It's a real interesting little game. I can't think of anything that's quite like it.
The ending confused me a bit.
Until they do the thing and go, oh, okay, I see.
It was just like, you've done the thing. Here is a couple of words from one of the characters. Roll credits. And I was like, you fucking what?
The post-credits kind of clarifies what's going on.
The real ending doesn't happen until after the credits.
Yes. You sit through the credits like, the fuck? The fuck?
What does any of this mean?
Yeah, they really leave you hanging on those credits.
In musical terms, it's additional tension and release.
Ah. Look at you with your musical terms.
I've been doing music theory a lot.
I know you have.
So, I mean, that was very, very interesting. I had a lot of fun with it. Initially, I remember being in the last few minutes of that game going, okay, I'm going to save here so that I can go back and do this if I do it again. And I got to the end, I watched my ending and went, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
That is my ending. That is the way I played the game.
I think I agree with you in that.
It's that Undertale thing. If that is my ending.
Yeah, that's how it went.
That's how it went. We don't need the fact that Flowey's like we could do it again.
Do you want to battle a boss fight 800 times? You could go do it.
You can destroy all these happy endings if you want. Cheers, Flowey. Cheers. Love you.
So is that everything you played this week?
That is everything I played. But what did you do?
Well, I quote-unquote played Microsoft Flight Simulator today. So
you played the launcher.
Yeah, so
the launcher played you.
We are recording this on Tuesday the 18th of August, which is the release date for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which I had it pre-ordered. I'd seen the reviews were really positive. I'll talk about some of those a little bit later. And I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll pre-order it. I'm gonna pick this up. Don't know whether my PC will handle it, but at some point, I'm gonna upgrade my PC anyway, so at some point I'll be able to play it.
You have to re-download it.
Oh, let's not even get to that.
I was thinking about it earlier.
Yeah, so I preloaded it, and it's like, we'll get it downloading, before release date. That's fine.
They did not get it downloaded before release.
Yeah, what it downloaded before release date was a 1 gigabyte file that opens up a launcher that allows you to download the other 91 gigs in-game on launch day when everyone else is trying to download those 91 gigs.
Oops.
The first hour and a half, I kept thinking I was downloading the game, but I wasn't, because there was a progress bar, but that progress bar wasn't moving, and I just assumed it was moving real slow, because it's 91 gigs to download.
Fair enough.
But apparently no. That was a progress bar starting to go, and it was supposed to then, connect to the server and go, yes, here's your download progress bar. But it couldn't connect to the server, because fucking everyone was trying to download it. So I spent an hour and a half thinking I was downloading it, and I wasn't. Lots and lots of restarting the game. I eventually get here's the download bar. Steam says I have 9 hours of this game played, and I have literally only installed it, got the message that says it is installed, and then tried to click continue, and the game crashed. So, that's where I'm at.
We're going to have to verify the integrity of that 90 odd.
Please fucking no. So that's where I'm at. Today was me basically waiting to get to play a flight sim. I want to play my flight sim. By next week, I will probably have more to say about it, but yeah, if you want to pick up Microsoft Flight Sim, be prepared for a lot of download to happen. Yeah. Also, you can't minimize it, and there's no ability to turn off the sound. And if you leave your screen to go idle, it will stop downloading.
And
yeah,
what was the other thing about it? There was something else.
There was a lot of things about it. Also, if you get it on Steam, because it's going to spend 8 hours downloading, you will be past the 2-hour window in which you can refund games on Steam. So, this game is apparently weirdly system intensive in places. So if you download it and it doesn't run on your system, you probably will have spent more than 2 hours, and people are asking Steam hey, you should probably extend the refund window for this one. and nothing has happened of that as of recording.
Oh, the other thing I was going to mention was the fact that you couldn't minimise it, you couldn't really do anything else, and at some point it starts decompressing bits of itself.
Oh my god, yes!
And will just basically eat your computer.
It eats your entire computer's CPU, RAM. Yes, I know there was one at about 31%, where I thought it had broken because it stopped downloading for ages, and I was like, oh, it's decompiling something. But, like, it was such a system resource hog. I couldn't watch a 480p YouTube video, and my mouse was occasionally just getting completely frozen, and, like, jittering around the screen, and then being like, oh, there we go. Like, anytime that it decides it's got to decompile something during that installation process, no matter how good your computer is going to crawl for a minute.
So, caveat emptor.
Yeah.
Although, from the people that have got it running, like, it's quite impressive the way, like, you can see some landmarks and stuff.
Yeah, everything I have seen about this game looks really impressive, and I will talk about, when we get to the watch bit, I'll talk about watching other people play this game, and it looks real cool. And I'm very excited to get to fly, because I like my flight sims.
You done flying?
Yeah, I love flying. Other things I played a bunch more Fall Guys.
Mm-hmm.
I played a bunch of that at the weekend while you were playing Prey.
Yeah, you're very good at those tiny beans.
Just about. I won Fall Mountain while you were watching.
You did? It was very good.
Fall Mountain is one that I never win. You got to run to the top of a mountain, touch a crown before anyone else. I only won that one because someone got up to the top of the mountain before me, didn't wait for the crown to come back down into range, jumped and missed it. So someone else's screw-up is the only reason I got to win, but I won at Fall Mountain in Fall Guys.
Sometimes it's the going too quickly that will cause the problem.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Fall Guys still.
Yeah.
It is very silly and very colourful and very nonsense, and it's good, turn your brain off in a couple of hours, vanish kind of gaming.
Yeah, it looks brilliant.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I get real Splatoon vibes from, like, the
Yeah.
colour scheme, and apparently the soundtrack's pretty
Yeah.
glorious as well.
It's if you mashed up Splatoon and Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what you're getting, and it's great fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't doubt I'm going to play more of that. I'm probably going to stream some of it at some point soon. I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, now it's apparently a bit easier to get
Yeah.
in a game. I'm thinking about picking it up myself.
It's a bit more stable, definitely, now, which is good, because that was the main problem at first, was like, I can't stream this, because what if I spend 2 hours unable to get into a match?
Yeah.
Other things I played, I continued playing Nier Automata. I've been replaying that for the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That game continues to be absolute, like, beautiful nonsense. It's got some real... I wish it had, like, autosave checkpoints, because there are places in that game where just... I will get through 5 minutes of thing and everything is totally fine, and then Okay, I'm going to describe a section that was after, like, 5 minutes away from the nearest checkpoint that, like, frustrated me as a bit of game design. There is a conveyor belt moving, and you've got to get to the other side of it. There are big pistons that are one-hit kill. If you get squashed by them, you're dead. So your movement is restricted by the conveyor belt. Mm-hmm. These things are one-hit kill. There is thick fog which routinely covers the screen, so you can't see exactly where you are in terms of being between these. Mm-hmm. Also, there are enemies trying to attack you on the conveyor belt, and your attacks will frequently move, or even just dodging attacks will move you left or right, which might put you under a piston. Put that all together, it's real easy to do a 5-minute run to this area and die the second you start it, and that gets real frustrating. Like, when I'm just doing, like, combat and following the sort of linear path and going through all the narrative content, this game's fucking great. It's nonsense, it's ridiculous, I love all of the characters, I love everything about the combat system, it's wonderful. I just don't like it in the moments where it's like, we're just gonna spike the difficulty, like, 5 to 7 minutes walk away from the last checkpoint. Have fun.
Yeah, and you also had that thing with the key?
Oh, yeah, I had... Okay, so this game does something slightly weird, it seems, when you die. So, let's say I saved at a checkpoint, went to talk to some quest NPCs, and they gave me this scanning item. And they gave me a quest to go find my missing friend. On my attempt to do that, I died. I popped back up at the checkpoint, and I still have the scanning thing that I was given as part of getting that quest. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go back and look for my friend. Couldn't find them. Spent half an hour looking around, scanning with the thing. Couldn't find them anywhere. And I'm like, I know this mission. I know where they're supposed to be, and the NPC's not here. Turns out, when I died, I got to keep the item that I got from starting the quest, but the quest wasn't started anymore. I had to go back and restart the quest to then go to the place. Because, like, all these other NPCs that, like, around this one, they were there. Just the one that lets me continue the quest wasn't there because I had the scanner to find them, but I hadn't gone back and talked to some people. Like, the fact I had the scanner made me think the quest was active.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, stuff like that is occasionally a bit frustrating, but also when I'm just fighting stuff in it, it's a gorgeous game and I like it very much.
It is very pretty.
Yeah.
We did play another thing I remembered.
Yeah.
We played Nintendoland.
Yeah, we did. We played through most of the Nintendoland minigames.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that required a Wii Motion Plus, because I forgot I had this upstairs. But yeah, this was your first time playing Nintendoland. You want to tell us about it?
It's mini-games. Lots of mini-games for fun and with friends. Some nice asymmetric gameplay using the Wii U controller thing.
The gamepad?
Is it just a gamepad?
I think that's what they called it.
I don't know. This is my first encounter with one, pretty much, apart from Xenoblade. Yeah, so it's got, like, themed games. There was a Luigi's Mansion one, which was somebody as ghost, other people are ghost hunters, and you've got to, like, zap the ghost with a torch.
The ghost hunters can feel vibration the closer the ghost gets, and they have limited torch on their battery on their torch to catch the ghost, and the ghost can see where the ghost hunter is and have to try and sneak up on them and grab them.
And the ghost can, so the ghost can try and grab them and get them back, and you've got, like, 3 attempts to grab.
Yeah, before your ghost health is taken down.
Or all your ghost health taken off.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that was fun. What was the other one I really liked? Oh, the Pikmin.
Oh yeah, there's a pretty full like couple of hours worth of like mini Pikmin game in there where one of you plays as Olimar and one of you plays as a Pikmin, and you go around fighting big monsters and you get weapons to fight with and you just go and defeat bug insects.
Basically play against like mecha
mecha insects. Yeah, it's real fun.
It was adorable. It was the one that kept us like most engaged. Partly because there was more of it.
There was more content. The rest of them have like 3 levels and it's like, okay, we've played both sides of this. I quite like the Animal Crossing one where you're trying to steal the sweets. And one of you is playing 2...
I didn't realise it was Animal Crossing.
It's Animal Crossing themed. Where one of you is trying to steal sweets and drop them in a little safety area.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
While somebody else controls 2 cops at once.
Yes, so you're trying to like pincer movement people. Well, they're like, quick, drop all my sweets so I move faster.
You never take me alive, copper.
For essentially the systems packing game, like I think it did what it was trying to do, which was
packing games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, PS5's getting a packing game. It's got Astrobot as a pack-in.
Yeah, Switch should have had 1-2 Switch in it too.
It really should have done. Yeah. It really made a lot of effort to go, hey, here's the kind of cool things you could do with a touchpad and 2 screens and asymmetrical gameplay.
Yeah.
And then no one copied any of it.
That F-Zero game was pretty weak though.
Oh, that F-Zero game where the controller was constantly like, recalibrate me!
I just want to get to the end of one race. Calm down. It got to the point where basically you were handing me the controller back, and I was like, "I'm just going to clear a little calibration spot on the table here."
Most of the games like we did a couple of times each on each level. We tried back and forth. This one we each did 1 attempt, and we're like, "No, we're done. We're not playing this again."
Whatever. What's next?
Yeah.
Yes. And those Yoshis were savage in the hide and seek one.
Oh yeah, the hide and seek game, which is another asymmetrical one. I think works better when you've got more human players doing the seeking, because the Yoshis will fucking...
They are savage.
They are fast, and they are brutal, and they will box you with a boxing glove.
There was a few times when I was just like, I'll just duck past the Yoshis, and they just pinpointed me every time.
Never duck past the Yoshis. Always take your odds with the human player.
Yeah.
The Yoshis are lethal.
Yeah, I really felt like there would have been like some give on that, but it was like, nope.
Yeah. Nintendoland is like, I think by the end of the Switch's lifespan is going to be the only Wii U game not to have made the hop over there. And I mean, there is some charming stuff in there, and as a pack-in, I'm like, I mean, it kind of exemplifies what the Wii U could have been, even if, a lot of the games in there's not a huge amount of content in them, and It was a fun afternoon of messing around.
Yeah.
And probably not more than that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to go back to it.
Yeah. Maybe if there was a bigger group of people.
Maybe. Like,
Yeah.
if we got, like, a group of people... Now we've got the Wii Motion, maybe have a look at the Metroid and the Zelda game.
Yeah, the Zelda one I remember being quite fun in there. Same for the Metroid one. Maybe we'll duck into those, but...
Yeah, but that's...
I doubt the two of us will go, let's replay some of those games we played before.
Fancy some...
Yeah, some Luigi's Ghost Mansion.
Yeah.
The only other thing I played this week is I've been doing lots of 5x5 cubing.
You have?
Yeah, I can't remember if we talked about me doing 5x5 cube last
we briefly
week.
talked about the fact that I had taught you how to do it.
Yeah, I can do the parity error on the 5x5 cube now.
Off the top of your head?
I know, like, 50-50 chance I can do it off the top of my head, 50-50 odds I will fuck it up.
That's still good for an 18 move.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I can remember the left face and the right face moves. It's the upper face and front face, etc.
They're always doubles.
Yes, I know they're always doubles, but I forget sometimes, like, is this double on the upper face or is this double on the front face right now? Like, I can't remember which way they go round sometimes.
There's a poem for that.
Yeah, I know. I've not learnt the poem properly yet. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But I got my solve time down to average of about 15 minutes,
Nice.
which is about half of what it was a week ago.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I timed myself doing the 7x7x7, and I managed to get, 22 minutes I think it was?
Yeah. I think my fastest on the 5x5 is like 12 minutes now.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. I'm getting much faster at, like, solving the centers. I'm getting much faster at
Edge pairing.
recognizing the edge pairing, and, like, the only thing I other than the parity error, which I either need to look up or take my 50-50 odds with, the only bit, it's those last two edge pairs sometimes takes me a minute to work out which piece I'm putting where to
Yes.
to do
And
that.
is there a way of, like, stopping yourself from having to do... Basically, if you've got two that are both like, I've got the parity error, you can use them to cancel each other out and avoid that.
I'm still learning the logic of recognizing, like, what can I do in that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of me sort of fumbling through that stage.
It's a
but-
weird thing, like, with that final parity error resolution,
Yeah.
like that final algorithm, there are still bits that I regularly fuck up, but it's only in the last couple of weeks that I've got to a point where I can look at it and go, I know what I've done, I can dial that back and then finish it correctly, which is a lot.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
That's like years after learning how to do, like, odd-numbered cubes.
Yeah. Well, I can basically do a 5x5
Yeah,
in
you
about
can.
15 minutes.
7x7 next. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yes, but I wanna get more comfortable with the 5x5. I want to be solving those last two edge pairings properly. I want to be doing the parity error confidently off the top of my head, and then maybe we'll look at 7x7. Because at that point, once I've done 7x7, I can do all the odd
can.
numbers.
One day we'll get you a 13x13 and you just be like, Phum. Well, that's me for the week.
That's 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 everything I played this week.
That's everything I played this week.
Well then,
Time for this.
time for this. Hello, and welcome everyone to I Can't Believe That's Considered Retro Radio, playing all the hits of the early 2000s that are undeniably decades old at this point, but feel like they were released yesterday.
Remember when you were a kid and your parents listened to really old music? Well, now you're old enough that the music you were listening to as a kid is really, really old music.
We're playing Bye 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 by NSYNC.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I am old.
Yeah, right. We're playing Stan by Eminem.
Really? Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah,
that's 20 years.
No.
Yeah. We're playing Crazy in Love by Beyonce.
I mean, how old did I get suddenly? How bad is
That was
2020
20 years ago.
This is the effect 2020 has had on everyone. Hey
Yeah.
Ya by Outkast. I mean, what the fuck?
We're playing Where Is the Love by the Black Eyed Peas. Remember when that was what they were known for?
Oh, and Avril Lavigne doing that Complicated song.
Oh god. Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
the soundtrack to my youth.
Yeah, that is 17 years ago. That's nearly 2 decades.
Wow, and I was like in my teens when that happened.
Yeah.
That is weird to think about.
So I can't believe that's considered retro radio, playing all the hits of the early 2000s until you realize that time has passed unstoppably.
Making those early millennials feel real fucking old.
Oh no, I'm aging.
We all are, friend.
What's everyone doing inside all of a sudden? Oh,
I thought they liked the nice weather.
yeah, everyone going, oh, where's the summer? Where's the summer? When's it going to get all hot and sunny? Suddenly, oh, it's too hot for us. We're going back in. Apparently, we don't like the sun anymore.
Apparently they don't like being scorched to death.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, we don't like the rain. We don't like the rain. The rain's terrible. Look, we show up. End of a heat wave. Suddenly, you're our best friend again. Suddenly, you love the rain.
Suddenly love the rain. They're
And
all out there on their ironing boards.
An overcast day. The temperature drips a couple of degrees, and suddenly you want to come back being best friends with the rain, huh?
Right, I know.
I know, they're so two-faced.
They are.
Exactly.
Flip-flopping, all of them.
I mean, they are in the puddles.
Flip-flopping like a fish. Look at that one.
Splish-splashing.
So, what's gone in your eye meats?
Well, we've continued to watch a lot of TNG.
I feel like we watched less than we have of late, but
Yeah, definitely. We spent a very gaming weekend, so we didn't do so much
Yeah.
weekend watching of TNG, but we watched more
Yeah, we
TNG.
still plowed through. We're still in
Working-
season 5.
Working through season 5. I very much enjoyed that episode we watched the other day of the planet of the androgynous people that was a big trans metaphor.
Yeah, that was
Oddly supportive.
oddly
Right.
supportive. I remember we spent the first 20 minutes of that going, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, because there's a few things like, it's the androgynous planet, by which they mean the planet of all AFAB actors.
AFAB actors with short hair.
Yes,
And frumpy clothes.
it's a very limited view of what androgyny or not a binary presentation can be.
Oh.
But once it got the ball rolling, it was honestly for the time a pretty direct and tasteful trans metaphor.
And that whole thing about conversion therapy.
Yeah,
Which was
yeah.
painful.
Yeah, if you go watch this episode, it's a season 5 episode. It shouldn't be too hard to find. I think Jane's going to look up the
I
title.
will look up the title.
Yeah. Go in warned that it ends on a real bummer. No, on a real.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a happy ending. That's my main criticism of it. Is I was rooting for this to just have a happy ending for the clearly trans character, and
Mhm.
I would rather spoil it so that you know what to expect. But it's an episode that's heavily centered around the threat of conversion therapy, and it has a sad ending for its trans character. So make of that what you will. But all of the sections of the episode that are about Riker, really fighting for the rights of this character who just wants to be female. I was really happy that Captain Picard was not going prime directive. You can't interfere. Prime
He
directive.
did mention it once, but it wasn't
He was his response to the Prime Directive was, look, I can't sanction you going because of the Prime Directive, but you do what you gotta do. I get it. You do you. He sanctions Riker's actions even if he can't say those words out loud.
Mm-hmm. So it's called The Outcast. It's season 5, episode 17.
Yeah. It primarily focuses on, I guess you would say, a trans woman character. But it acknowledges trans men existing as well, and yeah, it's real sympathetic to just hey, look, we're not hurting anyone. We're just here. We just want to live and be us, and please don't wipe our brains and turn us into not us, because we like being us.
Yeah, and that we're not broken.
Yeah. There's that whole speech that's very much just look, we live lives just like you. We do this, we do that, we do all the things that you do. We're people.
Mm-hmm.
Any other good episodes that we've watched?
The one we watched tonight, was that Cause and Effect, maybe?
Seems like it would be. It was a time loop, causality loop episode.
Yes.
Which it was a real fun one, because we got to see the whole episode play out like 6 times, I think.
Yeah, it's Cause and Effect, episode 18.
Yeah, I really like what they did with the gradual changes each time they showed it. Like, it didn't feel like each repeat was too repetitive.
Mhm.
And that last one was like, ooh, that changed. Oh, what's going on there?
Mhm.
Like, they did a real good job of putting some mystery in the final loop.
Also, Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah!
What?
Yeah.
Sure.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Season 5's been really... TNG's been getting better and better as it's gone on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know,
we
I know.
have some things coming.
Oh, I know. It's...
we have some things
We're getting into
coming.
the final 2 seasons and the movies, and things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also very excited for First Contact,
Yes.
but not Insurrection. No one's excited for Insurrection.
What about you? What have you been watching?
Oh, I've been watching lots and 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 lots of board game related videos on YouTube.
Yeah, it's dark by 9:30 in the evening, and therefore it's winter now, and you're in board game mode.
Apparently, I've gone clacky for board games.
It's really put you in the nocturnal mode.
Yeah, I'm like, games, board games, let's play some board games. It's time to start getting cozy and snuggled and playing board games and not going outside. Oh, I've been ready for this all summer. Yeah, it's lots of shut up and sit down, because they do funny and sort of well-considered reviews. The fact that they've been doing it for as long as they have certainly gives them a great degree of help with that.
Yeah.
Like, we know all the things, we've done all the things, we've played a lot of games, and there may be a game that you really, really like that they don't. You can either take that as that's their opinion and that's fine, like I did with Scythe, fist, or just the fact that they play so many games, they've probably seen a better example of something that you like.
Yeah.
Which I've found a few times. I can't remember specifically what games, but there have been games where I've gone, I really, really like that game, and they've gone, it's not very good. We would recommend this, and I've looked at those other games and gone, actually, they've got a point. So yeah, like those, I've watched some Watch It Played stuff.
Yeah.
They also do some slightly comedy stuff. They've been doing like Games Radar things about like board games that are showing up.
Yeah.
The most important board game thing I watched this week was the Pandemic Legacy Season 0 reviews,
Yes.
which are finally coming out.
Tell us about what people seem to be thinking of Season 0.
Well, everyone is having to obviously be very careful about what they say.
Yeah, not spoilers.
No spoilers for this, permanently adjusting game.
Yes.
I get the impression, because, okay, so people have been criticising it because it's about, you work for this, you are recently qualified doctors,
Yeah.
you've been hired to work for the CIA,
Yeah.
basically as spies, you have to root out Soviet spies
Yeah.
from various cities.
Yes.
You have like this whole rather than having like a character,
Yeah.
you do have a character, but you get like a passport, and then you can put like, there's like a sheet of, here's different hair, here's like facial hair, here's like various marks and stuff,
Various disguises.
here's clothing, and you make like your little profile picture for your passport.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is my character. And instead of a character dying like you might have had before, it's like, okay, I've got to burn that identity now because I've taken like too many hits or whatever.
Just conceptually, there's the bit of my brain that goes, oh no, this time the virus is communism that we have to stamp out. And that's a bit...
A lot of jokes have been made about that. Like, because it's still following basic pandemic concepts. Like,
Yes.
There's a number of spies in this city.
Yeah.
And talking about the fact that instead of when you get a third spy in a city,
Yeah.
or you need to place a fourth spy in a city, they don't just spread to all the other cities like they're reproducing asexually. You have to basically draw the bottom card of the infection deck, and instead of just looking at the city, it's got some like 3 lines of text written on one side, and that will tell you like what happens, what terrible things has
Oh.
happened. Maybe a safe. It's now like early on in the game, you might find that none of those things apply. So actually,
Yeah.
you just sneak them through. Oh, we don't have any safe houses yet, so we don't have to worry about a safe house being burned, or there isn't a safe house in that city.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a van yet, so we don't have to worry about the vans. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, instead of research stations or whatever,
Yeah.
you hand in like 5 matching cards and go, I'm going to buy a van. That's my little van now, and the little vans are kind of adorable.
Oh.
Like it looks like looks wise, it looks great.
Yeah.
Conceptually, a lot of people have complained about the fact that it seems to like unquestioningly play the
Yeah.
the Soviets. Ooh, scary.
I know they're not talking spoilers, which is why I'm quietly holding out hope that by the end of it, it's like, actually the CIA were the villains all along.
Well, I've got some theories about that because someone let something drop in one of their reviews that made me go, huh.
Yeah.
Which was, and who knows, in a few months you might be working for them anyway.
Huh.
Maybe we're going to switch sides. Because
Yeah.
one of the first things I said, because this is a prequel to the previous Pandemic Legacy games.
We know that not everything is perfect about that side of the conflict.
About that side of the ocean.
Yeah.
There are some problems, perhaps.
Because that's why I'm theorising that the CIA might that they might be going, okay, the CIA are bad, because that would potentially lead into some later season stuff.
So I'm gonna hold fire on the whole. Oh, it's unquestioningly anti-communism.
Yeah.
And say that I will almost certainly play it.
Oh,
Because I
definitely.
really enjoyed the last
And
ones.
from-
And I
Yeah.
will maybe let people know whether that is something they really need to worry about the rest of the game.
Having really enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Pandemic Legacy, and also hearing from reviews that this one is so broadly sprawling in terms of
It's huge. It's got 3
Yeah.
legacy decks.
3 legacy decks, so many boxes and pieces and
So it's
ways
got,
it
I
can
think it's got like a
branch.
standard 8 boxes in the
Yeah.
box. Then you've got the 3 legacy decks.
Yeah.
And you've got this like top secret choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
And it'll be like on a card might say read paragraph 84, you go in the top secret book and you just read 84, and that's it. You know that bit of additional plot
Yeah.
going forward.
And that's the thing. If nothing else, even if it is unquestionably anti-communist, I think mechanically it's still going to be really fun. And
I think mechanically it's going to be fascinating, and it'd be really interesting to find out like how it fits into the rest of the series. Because
I'm holding out hope, and I'm still really fascinated to play it.
yeah,
So we'll play it and we'll report back.
yes, we'll play it so you don't have to. And we'll let you know if you want to play it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just lots and lots of board game stuff. I'm plucky for board games.
I watched a really nice thing that I would be happy to rewatch because I think you might enjoy it. Maybe there's a thing on Netflix called Speedcubers. It's 40.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes long, but it's really sweet. Without getting too deep into the specifics, it is a documentary about the world of speed cubing and speed solving puzzles, and it takes place over a couple of years of world championships in speed cubing, but mostly it is about the 2 top speed cubers in the world, basically. 2 people called Max Park and Felix Zemdegs. And Felix Zemdegs was for the longest time, like, the person. He spent years as, like, every single world record he held. He was the consistent world champion in every category.
The standard WRC. And yeah. So, like, Pyraminx, 4x4, 3x3, 2x2.
Exactly. Like, he held all of the various 3x3 records for, like, for several years. He was, like, top of everything. And what I think is really interesting is it follows his relationship with this guy called Max Park, who in the last couple of years has risen up and basically become the new top person in speed cubing, and has sort of slowly chipped away a lot of Felix's records. But it's really sweet. Okay. The short version, Max is autistic and was for a very long time non-verbal, has a lot of difficulties with communication, and cubing was like the thing that he connected with his parents about. It was the thing that got him opening up. Going to cubing events was what got him starting to socialise with people, and he fucking idolised Felix as like the person to look up to.
Mm.
And the two of them made a really good friendship. And,
Yay.
like, to the point of every time that Max, like, overtakes one of Felix's records, which over the last few years has just been happening more and more, Felix will call him over, like, video Skype and just, like, congratulate him and be like, hey,
Yay.
you did really well. And they just... It's really beautiful
That's a good
watching...
Lisa.
It's just a 40-minute story about these two people basically bonding over their shared love of cubing, and the former world champion basically passing the torch to his lovely friend.
Yay.
And it real got me to tear up.
Yay.
It's real sweet, and I think you'd enjoy it. So
I saw it as like one of those like
Yeah.
screensaver things that on Netflix, because I think
Yeah.
we paused it to make a phone call to someone.
yeah.
And I was like, speed cubing, what that?
Yeah.
I need to watch
It's-
that at some point.
it's only-
Probably forgot.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes long,
Right.
and it's really sweet, and I think you'd really enjoy it, and I'd be very much up for rewatching it, because it gave me many feels. So maybe we'll rewatch it at the weekend, and then talk about it again next week,
Oh, heck.
because it's real good.
I did remember one other thing I watched.
Yeah, what else did you watch?
Something popped up in my YouTube recommendations today. Solace Dreams.
Yeah.
Hang on. Solace Dreams is a Silent Hill and Dark Souls inspired total conversion for Doom.
Ooh.
Like Doom Classic.
Yep.
It's a survival horror game made in the Doom Classic
Yep,
engine.
with like 3D polygonal models.
Yep. No, it's not all sprite based. Like there is some sprite based stuff in there.
Hmm.
The scenery is amazing. The sound effects sometimes get a bit repetitive, but that's understandable.
Yeah.
And like some of it is genuinely really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is, you play this. I believe it's like a young woman who starts off like having this dream of a school,
Hmm.
and then you like go around. It starts off almost Dungeons and Dragons-y. Like there's all these, like flags on the wall and like dungeon doors and stuff. Picking up like just a knife with a knuckle duster on it. It's like, cool, I guess that's my initial weapon. And then later on picking up things like shotguns and Uzis. Yeah, it's really interesting that people all this time later are still making just amazing Doom conversions.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we'd seen the peak of that, like, in the early 2000s with, I think it was called Elves and Humans,
Hmm.
which was an RPG built in the Doom engine that was then ported to, like, a bunch of Android phones. Like, what?
Yeah. Doom modders are modders in general are wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole thing about, like, you get to the end of a console's lifespan and all the best stuff starts coming out because people have really worked out how to optimize the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus, for example.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that people are still working on things like the Doom engine, and
Yeah.
going, yeah, let's see what I can squeeze out of this. It's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Well done.
A couple of other quick things I put in my eyes.
Mhm.
I read through the Petals to the Metal, the Adventure Zone graphic novel.
Yeah, you zoomed through that like you had the turbo button held down.
I'm a speedy reader.
So speedy.
Yeah, they continue to be doing a really good job with their adaptations of the various arcs.
Mhm.
They have done a really good job of what content to cut, what's important, creating new comedy and new good pacing moments by knowing where to be like, if we just skip from this to this, that'll be
If we
funny.
cut out most of that episode
Yeah.
in a really funny way
If we
between
cut
chapters,
to the punchline of that section, like,
it's so well done. That
Yeah.
made me laugh. That I know the bit you're thinking of, and it was just
yes.
like, that's amazing.
And I think again, not talking too spoilery, I think they did a really good job of how they went around the whole, oops, we did a bit kill all your gays in
Yes.
season 3 of the podcast. I think they did a good job of, like, we're not going to fundamentally change what we did, but we're going to foreshadow enough of what comes later to sort of soften that blow.
Yes.
And to make it so you're not spending however many years it'll take for this to fully release, going,
Yeah.
all the gays are dead, all
Because
the
it was,
gays
what,
are dead.
7 seasons? by
Yes.
then? Or 7 arcs by the end?
Yeah.
So it was a good, like, what, 60 episodes maybe? Something
Yeah,
like that?
it was a while.
Yeah, it was a long time before we got an answer to that, and that felt fan servicey.
Yeah.
And this very much feels like, hey, don't worry, we got you. This is
Yeah.
a little epilogue bit.
I think they did handle it the best they could, I think.
Without fundamentally changing the story at all.
Yes. Without undoing those important moment.
Yeah, because it's like the finale has a lot of those, and this happens and that happens, and everyone's like, "Fucking yes!"
Other things I watched a bunch of reviews of Microsoft Flight Simulator, because of course I did, because I'm really excited about it. I really enjoyed IGN's review, where they had someone who was a former fighter pilot, who and had a pilot's license, and was talking a lot about like, oh, I'm landing at like random airstrips in the middle of nowhere that I know exist, and they are perfectly recreated, and I know exactly, like, this is exactly what it looked like when I landed there years ago. Like, the degree of nostalgia for, oh yeah, I have landed here before. I was like, oh, that's real exciting. That's real lovely.
That's really promising for,
Yeah.
like, hey, here is all the stuff.
Yeah, I watched, like, a few hours of different people streaming that game, and it was real interesting. Without saying where we live, they did a low flyover in one of these live streams over where we live, and there was a whole moment of like, oh, I know that grassy field that they are flying past.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like it's real detailed
Wow.
of just like the whole fucking planet. I'm real excited to just go for a nice long flight in a Cessna and just fly across the country. Yay! I really like this game. It looks adorable. I can't wait to fucking play it.
Well, if you want to take me a fly from point A to Bournemouth, I'll come and do a little sit with you, take a little picnic. We'll both wear our headphones.
That sounds adorable.
Yeah.
Mwah.
I won't distract the pilot too much.
It's alright, we'll leave it on altitude control and we'll be fine for a little bit.
Join the Mile High Club.
And the other thing I watched was the Nintendo Indie Direct that happened this week. There was a lot of cool looking games in there. The main ones that I will mention here are ones that released today on Switch and I've already set downloading. A Short Hike. It's already been out on other things, but it's now out on Switch.
Yay.
It's very short, very simple, really adorable, very visually beautiful, well worth checking out. Manifold Garden.
I'm very hyped for this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been following the creation of this for a while.
Yeah, do you want to describe Manifold Garden to people?
I mean, you've probably watched it more recently, but as I recall, it's like non-Euclidean, weird hyperbolic space.
Yeah,
like
it's gravity shifting, and like if you fall off,
world wrapping.
yeah, if you fall off a ledge, don't worry, you'll eventually come back to where you were. If
And
you fall long
sometimes
enough.
that's how you solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, drop off it and land on it from above.
Yeah, it seems fascinating. It's got a really interesting art style that dropped on Switch today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much has changed since I was looking at it, but
Yeah.
that looks absolutely fascinating,
The-
especially if
yeah.
you're into things like non-Euclidean geometry, hyperbolic space. What was the game?
The one that we played recently.
Begins with an A.
Yes. Antechamber.
Antechamber.
Yes.
That one.
Yeah. I knew when I saw that trailer. I was like, I know that's Jane's jam. I'm
Yes,
glad I
yes,
was
it is.
right. There's a game called Spirit Pharaoh, which all the reviews that have gone up for it have been like best indie game of the year, best indie game of the last 2 years. Like
It's been looking adorable every time it shows up in previous Nindies.
visually, it looks a lot like Battle Chef Brigade, very visually similar.
Yeah.
But you play as someone who basically has a houseboat, and her job is to shepherd people to spirits to the afterlife, but to, befriend them first and to deal with any of their things they need dealing with and to take them when they're ready. And it looks adorable. That's out now. And then Takeshi and Hiroshi, which is about two brothers. The older brother is learning game development and he wants to bond with his little brother, so he's trying to develop little very easy to play RPGs that his brother can play, that he can bond with him on, and it seems adorable and heartwarming, and the art style's really cute, so I'm very excited to check that out. Also, Untitled Goose Game's getting co-op,
Oh shit.
so you'd be two angry geese honking at things.
Oh heck.
Honk, 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 honk,
Double
honk.
goose.
Honk, honk, honk.
Okay.
Honk, honk, honk.
Take bell.
So that's what I've watched this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well then,
Time for this.
time for this.
Hello, we've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you have like a bunch of people that you need to wrangle?
Yes, very much this week.
Like managing like a team of people?
Yeah, getting everyone to submit their things on time.
And would you like to micromanage the fuck out of their every move?
I mean,
Track their productivity on a TV in the office for everyone to see.
that's probably not healthy for the people involved, but I am at that point of desperation where this does kind of sound appealing right
Do you
now.
want to turn your employees into literal data points rather than people?
I feel like I should say no.
It does help with the exploitation, according to this copy here.
It probably helps with getting people to turn things in, I imagine.
Well, why not try Wednesday?
I
Yeah,
see.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's basically just a tracking system.
Yeah,
like-
with all sorts of widgets and colourful things
Yeah.
to track people.
And now, this week only, if you enter the code QNPS131, you can get free subdermal implants for your employees so you know where they are at every second of the day.
I really want to get all this stuff organised, but this does feel like a bit much.
If you want to go up to the next tier above that, there is a little button where you can zap them
Oh,
when
God.
they're not working.
Oh, God.
This is what capitalism's been waiting for years, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure the folks at Electronic Actor Softworks are going to love this.
Ugh. So that's wednesday.lol.net and enter the code QNPS131 to treat people like things. I don't like this advert. Inside the boardroom of Electronic Actor Softworks.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So, how's business going today?
Yeah, no, we've made a lot of money. All of the allegation stuff has been long forgotten. People are horny for our games again.
Exactly. Like, there have been enough games that were good and fun that, people other than us made that people have gone, oh, I like video games. I'm done being mad at video games.
Exactly. It's been 2 weeks. Everything is forgiven and forgotten.
Exactly, and it helps that politicians are ruining everything everywhere. Actual serious distractions, not us.
100%. There is a lot going on that takes... Everyone will forget us. We are old news, and the internet has a short attention span.
Exactly.
So, there is something that has drawn everyone's attention, and something that I am very keen for us to get our little claws into.
Yeah, that's the game with the little runny folks.
With the beans.
Yeah, with the beans running up the hill trying to get the crown.
Everyone very horny for the beans right now.
Yeah. So how do we get in on the beans?
Well, I was hoping that maybe we could, just slide them like a couple of $100.
Oh, with this whole thing of, who's going to put money in and get in their thing they're doing?
The what?
Oh, they're doing a thing. They're, trying to raise money for charity if we want to get into their game. I know. And, apparently it's not going to be a couple of $100. Ninja put down $200,000.
And it's not just a tax write-off or something.
Oh, it's a tax write-off.
Right.
So, we could just put down $500,000 and write it off on the taxes.
We have more money than anyone else in the industry, right?
Exactly, and tax write-offs. Who doesn't love writing things off on tax?
I love writing things off.
It's basically free money.
Okay, so we just put down, whatever the last person put down plus one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then...
we just keep doing that.
Yeah, and then we'll just get a bean.
Yeah, and then we what do we put on the... Should we put our corporate faces on the bean?
Yeah, maybe our faces could be a bean, and obviously the company logo, on every spare pixel.
Could we pay them extra to make an entire level that is just plastered floor to ceiling in our company logo? Don't forget about all the colourful neon designs you normally do. Just
the grey
logo
and black.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Could we put down $3 million and just get the game changed into Electronic Actor Softworks, guys?
You are a fucking genius.
I know.
So, ear meets. What have they received? What have you listened to?
Honestly, not a lot. I listened to the 8-hour loop of Microsoft Flight Sim gentle background music I couldn't turn off. I listened to that. I did all my writing to that today.
Was it soothing?
It was soothing. It was like a 10-second loop that just played for 8 hours. It was something. It's been a very writing-heavy week. Deadlines are happening for Gender Euphoria, and as such, I've been real in the thick of it, editing tens of thousands of words. It's been a lot.
You've been taking a management role rather than a standard freelance writing job.
Yeah, very much. It's been a lot of follow-up emails and seeing where everyone's at and checking in on things.
Business.
Business. I've listened to a few podcasts here and there just to get my brain away from, oh my god, I've read too many words. I listened to some episodes of The Empty Bowl. That is a go-to comfort podcast that I don't have to pay too much attention to. It's just some calm voices and some nice music. Talking about Serial, which is a thing that if I tune out for a second and tune back in, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's fine, I can go with it.
It's got a real ASMR vibe a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's got a real ASMR vibe, and I'm not so invested on the topic that if I mentally tune out, it's a problem. I'm like, I'll just jump back in. What you on about now?
It's comfort food for the brain.
Yeah. In a similar vein, I've been listening to a bunch of old gaming podcasts, going and finding like old E3 reaction podcasts from years past, just because, again, like when I was watching like reaction live streams from past E3s, it's nice getting a feel for like what the feel of the industry was after major events and how that panned out. So that's been some good comfort food, because I'm like, I know how this pans out, I don't have to worry about it too much. I've been catching up on my Bim Bam, because my brother and me, always just some nice, gentle, easy listening.
Yeah, pretty chill.
It's been that, or lo-fi chill hip-hop beats to relax and study to while I write.
Oh, I just need an update quickly.
Yeah.
How's Night Vale going?
I haven't listened to any more, purely because, oh my god, it's book deadlines. I'll get back to more. I need to be able to focus on that, and this is not the time. This is not the time of year for me to focus on anything.
I guess not.
What about you?
What about me? Mainly podcasts. I caught up on Podquisition. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I've heard whispers of it.
Whispers of it. Caught up with my Bim Bam as well, and what else? Lots and lots of Shut Up and Sit Down podcast and the Dicebreaker podcast.
I'm surprised and shocked. You listening to board game stuff because it got slightly darker slightly earlier.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also the fact that like July was the original like shipping date for a lot of my Kickstarter board games that got put back because of COVID. So I think I'd put myself a bit into that sort of headspace of like, July, we play board games.
Yes.
And we did a bit.
Yeah.
But, I feel like I'm just like, look at it. Look at it, it's not even 9 o'clock.
Also, it rained a couple of times, and therefore it's winter now.
It is. It's neat. It's nearly time for soup.
Yes.
Soup.
Super.
Anything else?
Oh, that's it, really.
Well then.
Time for this.
Why then, if we order, everyone, order. I must bring together this meeting of the soup marketing boards. Now, I've noticed that the nights have been getting a little bit earlier. I think, I've noticed that, and I think perhaps that means that it is nearly, time for people to consider piping hot soup. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, we are, is now the time to get the pot on so that we can start making sure that we've got enough for everyone. We are entering the primary stewing period.
Oh, of course. We're a couple of weeks away, but we've got plenty of time in that couple of weeks to start the advertising campaign up of it's September, which means that it is autumn, which means that it is stewing season.
It's time to start getting batches of stew in the freezer.
Exactly. Like, if you start making stew now, in 2 weeks you'll have it ready for autumn.
Exactly, just the thing, hearty, just the sort of thing you'll probably want on a bonfire night or something.
Exactly, just the kind of thing
to be going anywhere for bonfire night.
Oh, exactly. The kind of thing to keep you going while you're stuck inside your house for several months.
Several more months, yes. Second wave coming in. Soup! That's what'll cure it. The cure
it's got vegetables in it.
Yep.
Usually.
We've probably boiled out most of the nutrients, but it is delicious, hearty soup.
Hello, and welcome to Death Metal ASMR. Today, we are going to try and trigger your ASMR response. First of all, I want you to close your eyes and listen to the sound of my fingernails dragging across my skin. I want you to listen very carefully to the sound of me just pulling the head off this teddy bear and rubbing the stuffing against the mic. Hopefully you're picking that up at home. Now we're gonna further dismember this bear. That's about as metal as it gets. It's now just several beans and stuffing. Next, I want you to listen to the low crackle of this candle. It's black, like my soul. And finally, the sound of summoning demons in my bedroom. Hopefully, all of this will be most relaxing for you. That's my demon coming out. Well, this has been a most relaxing evening. I think I'm gonna go and get my very black blankie and snuggle up with my demon now. Thanks for joining us on the Death Metal ASMR podcast. Good night. Sleep tight.
Questions, time for questions.
What's the questions?
Arachnovolt would like to ask, if you could master any school of magic from D&D, which would you choose?
Transmutation magic, turning things into other things. Why are you
I
giggling
was
at
going to
that?
say the same thing.
Mainly because if I'm the only person that can master that school of magic in this world, there's a lot that you could do with, like, aha, I have created money out of nothing, aha.
Bye, the economy. Bye, it was lovely knowing
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was thinking for, like, help a few trans friends out.
Yeah,
Also,
that
you're
too.
waiting years for surgery.
Also, transmutation magic covers stuff like, create food and water.
I can feed the homeless. I can help
Exactly.
trans people.
Out of thin
And I
air,
can
I could
destroy
just be
the
like,
economy. This is amazing.
yeah, right, there we go, done.
Yep, done. Sorted. Transmutation. It's going to be amazing. Alice, the gayest dungeon now. Still an awesome name. Why did my car break and may I have a hug?
I don't know why the car broke. You should pop the hood and see if there's smoke coming out of one of the parts. It's probably that part.
I trust her. She seems to know car words.
Yeah.
I was going to say gremlins.
Have you tried jump starting it from another car? That's the thing you can do sometimes to get a car to work. And yes, you can have a hug. Sounds like you
Yeah.
need one because I don't know how to fix your car.
Hug. Samuel West asks, how are you doing today?
Tired.
Yeah, tired.
Today has been a lot of emails and chasing things up and wanting my flying game to work and it not working, and more chasing up emails and lots of work things and lots of... I'm pre-tired because I know I've got a really late night tonight because we're recording Double Dice Funk, so I'm going to be up till like 5 in the morning, and I'm pre-tired.
My excuse is that I stayed up late playing Prey and still didn't... I was like 15 minutes from the end of the damn game. But I didn't have another 15 minutes in me, so I just came to bed and snuggled. Yeah, so apart from that, yeah, just basically a bit tired.
Yeah,
It's alright.
I'm mainly just... I'm fighting through the next week and a half, probably the next week by the time you hear this, because deadlines.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I give myself 2 months to do a full book. Brain do
That's
melt.
a lot.
Brain do melt.
I'm not surprised, there's probably a reason that books don't usually have that kind of turnaround.
I mean, that's only twice the speed that the last book was done.
Tricky asks, a line of amiibos has been revealed featuring Becky, Jane and Laura. They're adorable. Can you name some of the various effects they will have in different games? The gayest haircuts in Mario Kart 8.
Oh god, yeah, my amiibo would unlock blue hair in every video game. I don't care how realistic it is, every video game gets blue hair for your
Yeah,
protagonist.
Pikachu has now got like the pink with just like all swept over the
Yeah,
inside.
of
and
course,
the
we've
shade
got to we've all got to unlock our hair colours on every video game character.
sides. So, well, at least all the Pokemon.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I mean, you're already in Astral Chain, so it's okay.
Of course. What else would we unlock?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't really know what that amiibos have ever unlocked apart from like extra cosmetic stuff for Mario Kart 8 and some extra chests in Breath of the Wild.
Maybe you tap yours in Breath of the Wild and you get like a chest of food, but rather than being the meat chest or the fish chest, it's just a vegetable chest.
It's a vegetable chest and there's a set of poi as a weapon in there.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
There we go. What about you? What are you putting in Breath of the Wild?
I don't know. Oh, what would be in my chest? What would be in the metal chest in the video game?
Sorry. I was just checking.
I need help on this question. I don't know how to answer it.
I mean, like a keyboard, probably.
Yeah.
Something to type on.
Some
really cool headphones.
some headphones, multiple screens, and a chair to hunch over in.
A bum bag to keep some extra utilities in. Yeah, just like extra storage space. Cool headphones, like so you can like wire.
Yeah.
Like
You can play your own soundtrack in the game. There you go. You can
No,
play...
it's got to be a Spotify playlist.
Okay, you can play a Spotify playlist.
It's got lots of emo on it. It's got loads of MCR and Against Me, and it's amazing.
That's what you unlock with my amiibo. Okay.
Becky too. Hi, Becky.
Becky, love you. Mwah.
Becky asks, "Do you need a bra that will talk you out of lighter and less ethical meal options?
Right.
Eat the rich bra." Larry Elling, MB, asks, "Are verbal commands that turn people into deer terms of endearment?" Yes, they are. Chris Lamas asks, "What are the queer horoscopes for this week?" Well, I don't know. I think, let me check in the stars. It's almost dark enough to see them. So yes, I can see, well, let's see. All the gays are going to have an amazing time. It'll be lovely. If you have not met someone, you will meet someone very nice. If you are with someone, you will maybe meet someone very nice. Depends how polyamorous you are. And now let's see, lesbians next. Let's see. Okay, now the stars are telling me there are like lots of hot lesbian identified people. All of the good lesbians, and they're going to be there, and you're going to see them, and you're going to be like, nice. Okay, asexuals next. You're going to have a very gratifying relationship with someone you care super deeply about. And that's going to be awesome, Okay, bisexuals, are you ready? You're just going to have a really nice week. There's muffins on Tuesday, If you don't like muffins, there will at least be some form of cake that you can share with someone else, maybe. Maybe the gift of cake. I'm sensing a very cakey middle of the week for you. Who's up next? Pansexuals. Oh, okay. You're going to have to put up with that joke again. Some from a family member, I think, on Thursday. We've all been there. Also, you're going to see someone that makes things of you tingle. That they haven't stirred like that in quite a while, but it's just gonna be like, huh, yes, you, ow. Queer folk, well, you're going to meet a pleasant stranger. Just kidding. I mean, I had to squeeze in the whole name of the podcast that we are doing, Anyway, you are going to... you are going to meet a stranger. Sorry, I thought I was just making a little joke, but I see that star just up there on the right.
Can I chime in? I think I see something up there. You're also going to get an extra bag of knickknacks in your multi-pack.
Oh, it's always good when you get an extra pack, and they're going to be the flavour you really like, too. Well, I think that is all of the ones I'm getting right now. Maybe if it gets a bit dark, I will get, some more of the letters, but that's all for now, okay? I've been Mandy Wise. And that is all of the questions.
Well then, time for this.
Sure. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Brochure Justice Warriors.
Brochure Justice Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, Harry.
All right, Barry. How you doing?
Yeah, a bit croaky, but I think I'll manage to deal with that.
Yeah. How's you been? Anything new with you?
Yeah, obviously I'm still staying in lockdown, trying to be as sensible as possible. I noticed that that's not going on everywhere, but noticed a bit of the old discourse this week.
Oh, the discourse. What's the discourse been this week?
Apparently, people have been using the word egg to apply to other people.
Oh, yeah. So, the term egg as a thing to self-apply, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It's,
generally that's how I've, had it, always heard it explained by people. It's like, before I was cracked, when I was just a baby egg, before I was...
It's that whole thing of trans people often have a lot of time spent where, not quite sure yet what's going on. You got all the signs, all the I wish I was like this. Oh, what a fantasy I have in my head.
And it also feeds into that narrative you get sometimes of the rebirth.
Yeah.
the second birth of yourself as your true self.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Is that sort of like you look back on in hindsight on yourself and go, isn't it silly that I didn't notice X, Y, and Z about myself? But, you know, having egg as a term like that as a way to self-apply and to go like, you know, back before I had realised quite what was going on with myself, I think it works perfectly well as a term. But I think
works very well as short term for, you know, in translingo.
Yeah, it is shorthand for before I came out, before I realised exactly what was going on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is never a thing you should apply to someone else, because obviously everyone's journey or not journey with gender is their own, and it's, you know, no matter how much you might look at someone and go, oh, they're doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, I did X, Y, and Z, and I came out later. You know, don't apply that kind of stuff to anyone else, because it's, you know, that's not your judgment to make. It's
not at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, for some people, that is just that they are very comfortable exploring, you know, how they present themselves.
Yeah.
But it's a very different thing to, you know, saying that I am a trans person or a gender fluid person or whatever. So to apply it to someone else is, you know, it's very much saying that, again, a thing that, you know, trans people themselves often hear of being, you know, I'm having something forced on me.
Yeah. You don't get into the situation of the perception being that trans people are forcing transness on other people by being like, you're gonna be trans.
And that sense of, you know, I know you better than you know yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, there's also like, you know, that person might be trans and not out yet. The fact that you are, like, calling them out on that and highlighting that fact might make them be like, oh shit, I've been discovered, and go back in the closet for a while. Like, you know, there's a lot of situations in which, you know, labelling...
safe for them.
Yeah. Labelling someone else's identity might not be healthy for them, might not be safe to do for them, you know. It is not a term you should ever apply to anyone else, because there's a billion justifications for everything that a person might do, and the reason that they're doing it might not be the same reason that you as a trans person did.
Absolutely. You know, yes, it is understandable for human beings to see patterns in the world.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that you start applying terms to other people. Because it's not your place to go around labelling people.
I have certainly seen behaviours in other people sometimes and gone, a lot of those remind me of me before I came out, but I would never label someone or make assumptions, because who knows why they're doing those things? It might be a completely different reason to me.
Absolutely. And, you know, the fact that what you should really be doing, rather than going, egg, is perhaps just going, I'm going to support you.
Yeah.
I think that is awesome what you're doing.
Doesn't matter what the root cause of what you're doing
Exactly.
is.
No, just, hey, you look awesome today. Or, you know, that is an awesome choice.
You, as you currently are, acting and presenting, is awesome. Keep it up. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And whatever comes of that or does not come of that, does or does not come of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Virtual hug, mate.
Yeah, virtual hug.
Late night, mate.
Yeah, late one.
Well, I'm going to go and pop myself on a little herbal tea. Why don't you tuck yourself in, mate?
I think I will.
So, Laura,
Yes.
we draw towards the end of the episode.
Oh, spooky.
It's coming towards the end now.
Ah.
The end is in sight. And so I have to ask, I've turned into Thor ahead, I'm very sorry. Would you like to sing us out, darling?
We don't do that until after we've promoted ourselves.
So I have to ask, is there anything you'd like to promote, darling?
You can find me on the internet at Laura K. Buzz everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon. That's the one that pays the bills. LauraKBuzz.com. My whole flow's gone now. I'm all aflutter. I've got books, Uncomfortable Labels. That's out now. It's about being gay and trans and on the autism spectrum. Things I Learned from Mario's Butt. That's coming out on February 4th, 2021. Darn COVID. There is Gender Euphoria, which is an anthology of non-cis people's positive, uplifting stories. That is hopefully going to be out next summer. I'm finishing that off right as we speak. Other than that, every Friday on YouTube, I upload an episode of Accessibility, which is a series I do about accessibility and representation in the games industry. So check that out. if you check out the Kinda Funny YouTube channel on the Monday that has just gone past, Monday the 17th, I was on the Kinda Funny Games Daily. Go check that out and put a nice comment on it, because I did an hour of talking about video games and it didn't go badly. Yay! Other than that, there's Pixel Squirt, where I talk about video game porn. There's Podquisition, where we tell you whether your favourite video games are great or perfect. There's Dice Funk, where we play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm on seasons 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're all self-contained stories. And I do a podcast with you that isn't Queer and Pleasant Strangers.
No, it's Polyamory.
Yeah!
It's a 5th edition Real Play D&D podcast with questionable morals and the downfall of capitalism. One day. We do that with Becky and Nick Flair. And sometimes we have guests. If you're looking out for guests soon, we've had the Humans Hollering at News, or at least 2 of them. We had Larry Elling NB and Bethany Turner. Go read Eon's World, it's very good. I also make t-shirts. I've got a Redbubble, if you fancy a wealth inequality solution shirt with a guillotine on it. We've got a SoundCloud, where you might be listening to this now. I've got a YouTube. I've got a few other places. You can find all of those places at streamerlinks.com/Janiac. That's JANEIAC. The most important one for me, though, is patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio. That's the one that pays my bills. For as little as $1 a month, you can help me justify a 70-hour work week.
Whoa.
And if you want to pay $10 or more, you can get early access to Queer and Pleasant Strangers, which usually goes up on a Wednesday night or Thursday morning, assuming we're recorded on the right day and nothing major happens during the week. But you will always get it early for a tenner. Or $10. I think it's everything.
So, Laurie, dear, will you sing us out?
Until next time, be a stranger.